Would you like to feel phenomenal? Do you sometimes feel less than that? Do you feel depleted? Do you feel like things are degenerating and getting more aches and pains and pain and suffering? Well, remineralization is a key foundational part of this. And the minerals are the concentration, the crystallization, the focusing, the manifestation of full spectrum energy and vitality that we are created to live in the flow of, and that the natural world has been created to help facilitate. And when we practice degenerative farming methods, which is mono-agriculture that's been practiced for allegedly 10,000 years or so, and we eat the food products of degenerative agriculture, then our bodies, as well as the ecosystem, become degenerated. So, we like to feel like all the fuses, the 100 or so fuses in our fuse box, have fuses in them. And the functions of our body are optimal, that we're experiencing thriving, that our vision is working perfectly, that our skin, our hair, our nails, our sense of smell and taste is as good as it's ever been. Maybe even better than it's ever been if we grew up in an industrialized culture and we've been eating industrialized foods. And the cumulative effect of the generational effect on that, numbing our senses. Do we like to feel like our brain is switched on and we're thinking with crystal clarity, that inspiration is flowing, that our creative faculty of our mind, our imagination is on fire, that our body has the capacity to take action, like our spark plugs are working, like our starter motor engine is humming, that we have the ability to take initiative and inspired action on our visions and bring them to fruition? Well, being full spectrum energetically and the corresponding remineralization aids this massively. And what is one of the best ways, if not the best way, to experience that remineralization? Well, connecting with the wild foods. And that doesn't mean you have to learn foraging off the bat if you haven't got a clue. Of course, that's part of the bigger picture. That's part of the long-term journey. But we can start with wild harvested, foraged foods in dried or powdered form, available at very reasonable prices, especially when we get them towards the kilogram size. And we really feel their profound effects when we take them in effective dosages. We treat them like food, rather than just eating spinach or lettuce heads or bag of baby spinach that may be 100 or 200 grams. And we know how small a bag of baby spinach cooks. Well, swapping that baby spinach or that big salad with a big head of lettuce, swapping that out for a wild green like nettle, like dandelion, like barley grass, like alfalfa, getting those quantities of wild foods into us that are the equivalent of having a big head of lettuce or the other greens that people enjoy. And that's just the green leaves, let alone the flowers. Things like chamomile, lavender, hibiscus, linden blossom. There's a whole bunch. As well as the fruits, the wild fruits, the wild blueberries, the rose hips, saw palmetto berries, elderberries, sea buckthorn. There are so many. Baobab, camu camu from the Amazon, acerola. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of wild berries around the world that are edible and enjoyable and super nutritious for humans, packed with minerals and the corresponding phytonutrients, the vitamins, massive doses of that essential nutrient vitamin C in quantities that help us feel zing, serious zing, and you can taste the zing in those things. Okay, So what do fruits have? They have seeds. So wilder varieties of seeds. Things like poppy seeds, one of the best sources of zinc. Milk thistle seeds, the best thing for your liver. Black and brown sesame, one of the greatest sources of plant calcium, as well as all the green leaves. Hemp seed, one of the best sources of omegas. So what else? Roots, the other part of the plant, coming into the winter season. Everything from ginger to horseradish, to turmeric, let alone things like maca, sometimes called Peruvian ginseng, eleuthero, sometimes called Siberian ginseng, regular old Oriental ginseng, Korean ginseng, American ginseng. There's some powerful roots in the world, let alone simple things available on relatively all of our doorsteps and available by bulk in powders. Things like dandelion root, nettle root, burdock root. Like wham, bam, those roots have some power. So much more power. We're told like, oh, okay, a beetroot is healthy and good for athletes. Well, next level is those wild roots. So get your wild roots on. Suma, Brazilian ginseng. Okay, next up we have the seaweeds. Wow, there is so much magnificence by the ocean. Those seaweeds. That's where the fish get their nutrition from. That's where the whales get their nutrition from marine phytoplankton. And yeah, they might eat the fish that have eaten the seaweed. But it starts from those sea vegetables. That sea life. There is so much nutrition in those oceans, and cleaner, fresher, more vibrant nutrition than fish. Dulse, nori, sea moss or Irish moss, bladderwrack, kelp. There's a ton of it out there, and it's just loaded with minerals. So what else we got? We've got the wild and medicinal mushrooms, the likes of reishi, chaga, lion's mane, turkey tail, cordyceps. There are so many powerhouses of nutrition and minerals. Okay, so what else happens when we don't have minerals? Well, we feel vulnerable. We feel like things are missing. We feel like our full spectrum vibration is lacking. Like there are gaps in our armor. There are weaknesses in our force field. And those weaknesses are inviting in uninvited, but we're inviting them in, pathogenic visitors that deplete us further and demineralize us further. Things that sap and drain our energy and feed off of us. Are we concerned with the likes of weight gain or even emaciated frailty and weakness in some part of our body? This all comes down to demineralization, devitalization, degeneration. And we can take care of this with remineralization. All the alchemical, botanical, mineral salts. Alchemical, botanical, plants, mineral salts. Minerals in their optimum form that have the greatest affinity with the cells of our body. So, the plants uptake the mineral salts, convert the mineral salts into all the other phytonutrients, into more ennobled forms of the minerals than when they were just crushed up rocks. So of course there's other cofactors that ignite the activation of these minerals, but the minerals are foundational. The minerals are the building blocks for the entire physical realm. And yes, they are the manifestation of the flow of vitality, the flow of the other elements, which is the air, fire, the water, earth, and the key element that they all come from, the ether. Consciousness, energy, life force, God force, vitality itself. So, who likes to feel strong? Who's had enough with feeling drained? There is so much that can drain us in this world. Our own thoughts and emotions, our own beliefs can drain us massively, demineralizing us, causing acidity, dwelling in heavy emotions like anxiety, worry, fear, blame, shame, guilt, anger, and depression. They acidify us and they demineralize us. Who would like to feel more, at least hopeful, at least optimistic, inspired, enthusiastic, high vibe, more unconditionally loving? Allow more of your natural divine genius to flow through you. That is all correlated and corresponded to full spectrum life force, which is crystallized in the form of mineralization. And we can all be fantastically, abundantly mineralized. And when we are fully mineralized, we feel abundant. We feel prosperity. We feel the wealth and riches of being a child of God living in paradise. We do not feel at a massive, deep, profound level like something is missing and that it is causing and facilitating degeneration in all areas of our lives, making us feel incapable or impotent for lack of power and lack of presence. When we become dematerialized, we are no longer fully embodied in a strong, vibrant, vital, radiant, physical form. So the more demineralized we become, the less present we become, the less embodied we become, the less empowered we become, the less uplifted and enlightened we feel when there are gaps, when there are deficiencies, when there are things that are draining us. We can be eating foods that are causing demineralization. And of course, some foods cause a lot more demineralization than others. And some foods cause demineralization while also remineralizing us with other things. And some foods, the weakest, most processed foods, can be low in minerals and high in anti-nutrients that deplete us massively. So the solutions are really simple. The solutions are all around us. The solutions help us feel more happy, more joyful, more fulfilled, more well-being, more health. Who's ready to feel healthier? Health is wealth. So let's get on and get remineralized. So there's all different ways that we can incorporate these wild foods into our recipes. They can go into profoundly powerful teas, wild food teas. Those teas can be as thick as brews, syrups, as thick as the thickest hot chocolates, and we can mix them in with raw cacao and make them chocolatey, which is a wonderful propellant, a wonderful potentiator of those other wild foods. We can make them into energy balls. They can go into broths. They can be added to smoothies, juices. They can be added to any recipes. We can put them in raw recipes and we can bake them into cooked recipes. Of course, they'll be even more effective potentially in raw recipes, but they can be baked into recipes. They can be put in all kinds of cooked soups, all kinds of recipes. And they can be delicious. They can add more of a full spectrum palette, all the flavors. Going to get maximum sweetness, maximum umami and savoriness, maximum sourness and bitterness. Often that sour and bitter is medicinal qualities. And we're going to feel satiation on the saltiness front because, wow, those things have their alkaline, botanical, mineral salts. That's the reason we crave salt, is we would like the full spectrum minerals that are in unprocessed, wild sea salt, and even better, in plants that come from mineralized soils, which of course wild foods come from mineralized soils. Domesticated, devitalized, demineralized foods come from monoagriculturally produced soils. Even if they're organic monoagriculturally produced soils, that's way better. They'll be less depleted potentially depending on the individual grower, and great, they won't be covered in all kinds of toxic carcinogenic chemicals, which of course will deplete us even further and cause havoc with our hormones. So remineralization can be fun, can be fulfilling, can be an easy, enjoyable adventure, adding more of a connection to the magnificence of this paradise onto our plate, inspiring us to perpetuate and grow more paradise within our inner garden and the outer garden of the earth, and returning it to its full, regenerative, fully functional, thriving capacity whilst doing the same for ourselves. Why would we settle for anything less? There's all kinds of narratives and stories that are depleting us, that are uninspiring, that are devitalizing, that are demotivating, that cause people anxiety, worry, and all of that kind of stuff. Well, let's change the narrative. Let's tune into a greater story, a story of thriving, a story of regeneration, vitality, remineralization from the inside out and the outside in. And the stronger we feel, the more we'll thrive in our relationships, the more clearly our mind will think, the more brilliant, genius, inspired thoughts we'll have, the more discerning we'll be with our language, the more discerning we'll be with our choices. We'll pick the things that enhance our energy more and more, and we'll let go of the things that drain our energy more and more, helping us to fulfill the promise of being a co-creator and co-creating an ever more magnificent embodiment and world for everyone to thrive in. Why believe in all the stories of scarcity and lack, all the realities of that being perpetuated? Isn't the solution for us all to embody our own greatest thriving, powerful, happy paradise? Is that not what we were born for? Are we not made in the image and likeness of that? So let's get on with it. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, comment, ask questions. There's going to be a part 2 on this mineralization. There's another Zoom call coming up. There are more journeys that the School of Paradise is offering, whether it's from our Paradise Immersion weekends, the Plant Empowered Woman journey, the Alchemical Regeneration, 88 Activate. Please subscribe and follow the videos here, and we look forward to co-creating magic with you. Keep it up. You're doing amazing. We believe in you. We know who you are. We celebrate you. So celebrate yourself. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your family and friends. Take care of your mineralization so you can be fruitful, so you can be fertile, so you can be creative, so you can feel fulfilled creatively and have the juice and the electromagnetism, which is what is the energy that those minerals are a manifestation of, to fulfill your divinely ordained purpose. Okay, stay wild, stay wonderful. Love each and every one of you so much. Aloha.